And now, back to Your Retirement Matters with Arlene Brown.
And welcome back, folks. I'm Jeff Davis with your host, Arlene Brown. Arlene, we've talked about PIGS. That's an acronym for Portugal, Ireland, Greece, and Spain. Euro and Europe, and how these will affect us in 2010. How will these things affect us in 2011?
In 2011, anything that will happen with the euro currency, with Europe, will have an effect on our dollar and our banking system. Really, what it is as these things will transpire in Europe, it's not that nothing will happen there. It will, as it transpire in Europe, it will also transpire here in our backyard. And the words that will come up is Illinois and California.
You know, something, I was watching Fox News Channel this morning. Mm-hmm. We're recording here a few days before this is going to air. Mm-hmm. And they had mentioned, there was a story about a guy who owned a business in Illinois. The business had overpaid their taxes and were due a $23,000 refund, but they didn't get it because they don't have it.
Yes, that
the
is
state
correct.
of Illinois doesn't have it.
Yes, mm-hmm. And you know why I said actually Illinois is messier than California. I believe that Illinois will go will default first before California, because it's more expensive for them to get insurance for their bonds, so that they will be able to sell bonds. Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't think people are surprised to hear this, because we've been talking about this for quite a long time, Illinois and California.
Well, yes, but it's messier for 2011. It's messier for 2000. We were just talking about it in 2010 and even in 2009. And I know in June 2010, Warren Buffett said about municipal bonds to watch out, okay? But really in 2011, it's really very serious. Mm-hmm. It's no longer a red alert, but it's really going. No more alert, but it's really going to happen.
How about, if we can talk for a second about one of your other favorite subjects, and that's Obamacare. How do you feel about it? Are you in favor of repealing it?
Well, I can't answer that most definitely, because I am not done reading yet the whole thing. But as far as what I have read is that due to an Obamacare provision taking effect on January 1st, Americans will no longer be able to use their flexible spending account and health savings account, that's the pre-tax dollars, to purchase non-prescription over-the-counter medicines, with the exceptions of insulin. Now, so to some people, they may say, yeah, but they are over-the-counter medicines. But we're talking about antacids, aspirin, laxatives, pain relievers, antihistamines. This is allergy medicines, stimulants, cough medicine. Those things can add up. What if, for example, your family, as a family, you spend on all those over-the-counter medicines $500, mm-hmm. okay, and you are in the 25% bracket? That's $125 a year that you lost. That means that's actually...
And taxes, right there. Mm-hmm.
That's actually taxation.
Yeah, it is.
Mm-hmm.
On top of the $500.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So the $125 that you were supposed to save is gone. Mm-hmm. And $125 every year for the rest of your life. Gone because of that provision. That was very hard, really, to find, because it's hidden. So, and it's not only this is only one of the 24. So I am going to unravel as we progress in our show, as the
more and more things.
I would be able to discuss that and unravel those things. So there are little things that the Obamacare will impose to small people that we haven't really realized yet. Mm-hmm. So I am more inclined to say yes, but not most definitely.
Sure.
Because I haven't finished reading.
I don't think anybody has. I don't think Obama has. All right, I saw a headline the other day, if you don't mind me switching gears. about a possible municipal bond market crash. And it kind of surprised me because I hadn't heard anything about this. Maybe you can enlighten our listeners. Is it true?
Well, in June, as I mentioned earlier, in June, Warren Buffett actually mentioned to watch out for the municipal bonds,
Right.
because the municipal bond market is going to crash, although that's not his exact words. But just remember, Jeff, the $160 billion in federal stimulus money is set to run out this spring. Okay, what's next is the federal government. Federal government is also broke. So as the $160 billion stimulus money is going to run out, most of this municipal and local and state government are going to clamor for more stimulus, but there's no more money. The federal government is broke. That's one thing that the Congress does not realize. What are they going to do? Are they going to step in and bail out every state and local government there is?
Got 50 of them. 50 states alone, local
States
governments.
alone. We're
Hundreds,
talking about
thousands.
local government as well.
What about inflation? Can you speak to that issue?
Well, inflation, because as a result of the QE2, not the Queen Elizabeth ship, but we are talking about the quantitative easing that was done last November. It actually effectively increased the number or the supply of money in the market. So remember, the Fed just released $600 billion or printed additional $600 billion. Where will that money go?
Yeah.
And in fact, before you ask that question, where will that money go? Where did it come from? Okay, so I know that Bernanke and President Obama contend that the QE2 was very necessary so that we can keep the economy going and to improve unemployment numbers. But we haven't really seen the result. And even if Bernanke promised to control inflation, but because of this money supply that abounds in the market, guess what? Inflation is inevitable. And also, this coming 2011, 4 of the federal members of the, are new members of the federal members, okay, Federal Reserve members, the federal market, open market, Federal Reserve members. So, what's gonna happen is that this 3 of those 4 are more inclined to raise the interest rate because they don't believe on the money policy, the monetary policy that Bernanke actually, the way Bernanke handled the monetary policy. So they are more inclined to vote for jacking up or raising the interest rate.
All this will devalue the dollar?
Yes, it will. Well, you see, inflation. Once there is inflation, it will also devalue the dollar. But even without inflation, right now the dollar is devaluing because of the money supply that is out there. Okay, so even if I know Bernanke is will always, as he promised, will really try hard to control inflation, but he is only one. There are other 3 votes.
Do you think all these things can happen?
Most likely. In slow motion, though.
All the more reason, though.
In slow motion, that we.
Slowly
in
but
slow
surely.
motion that we don't hardly recognize. Okay. But there is an important point with the dollar that most people don't really realize is that the U.S. government, even if we have been saying that the U.S. government cannot continue printing dollars, and the only reason why we can continue printing dollars because we are the world currency, the world currency reserve. It's the dollar, okay? But if we continue what we're doing and there is a clamor between or among the BRIC nations, that's Brazil, Russia, India, and China, okay, they are talking to each other. And this is not a rumor, okay? They are talking, and they are going to be vigorously talking about really having an alternative currency, which they call a basket of currencies.
Wow, and a force to reckon with.
Would dislodge dollar as the world currency, and there's no telling what it will do to us. I mean, we can no longer print money, the dollar, and then it will really increase our purchasing the oil, the oil price, because right now we buy oil the cheapest among in the whole world.
I know.
We have the cheapest.
Yeah, we don't
oil.
realize that.
We don't realize that.
And that's going to do it for this week's edition of Your Retirement Matters with financial advisor Arlene Brown. And folks, Arlene's a very smart lady. She's done a lot of good for a lot of folks, made a lot of money for a lot of people. Why don't you give her a call and find out about her 3-step review process? You can call Arlene Brown at 678-741-5334, 678-741-5334, or visit her website, yourretirementmatters.net. Arlene?
Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, may God hold you in the hollow of His hand.
You've been listening to Your Retirement Matters with Arlene Brown. If you're retired or planning for retirement, tune in each Saturday and Sunday morning at 9:30 for important investment advice. Your Retirement Matters with Arlene Brown, only on News Talk 1160, the talk of the town.